one of the best casts and most interesting worlds, Fairy Tail by Hiro Mishima is one of my favorite shonen I've read. In this story, you follow a band of misfits called the Fairy Tail Guild and watch them work together to overcome the challenges that stand in their way. You have your quintessential good and bad guys in this story, but some characters exist in the gray area too, and as you meet more of the guilds and their members, the story gets even better. Fairy Tail highlights the power of friendship and bonding together to overcome adversity. You watch these characters spend time together in their free time, but it's also a battle-oriented series that's full of exciting power-ups, so it's full of action too. This one also has no training arc, so if you're looking for a shonen that gets into the thick of things quickly, you'll want to check this one out. Fairy Tail is an incredibly fun and amazing read, so it's one I recommend, but what's the best way to collect the series? At the time of this video, Fairy Tail has 4 editions: the singles, 3-in-1 omnibuses, master editions which are oversized 5-in-1 editions, and the 6 manga box sets released by Kodansha. Fairy Tail is complete with 63 volumes. If you're looking to collect the full series and read it ASAP, all 63 volumes can be collected via the singles and the manga box sets. The 3-in-1 omnibuses are the newest format to release. 3 are out so far, but 21 are expected to be released. The Master Editions are another way to collect the series, but not fully. As of now, only 5 have been released, and they collect up through volume 25. But a new Master Edition has not come out since 2017. I'm going to show you guys how these look and stack up against the others, but since the Master Editions don't fully collect the series, this is something to keep in mind. That said, let's take a look at all of these editions and how they compare. First, let's talk about price. The singles retail for $10.99, the omnibuses for $22.99, and the master editions for $39.99, and the box sets for either $109.90 or $120.89. That said, if you wanted to complete the series via the singles, it would cost you around $692 at retail. On the other hand, it would cost you around $483 for the 21 3-in-1 omnibuses they're expected to release, and $692 via the box sets. The Master Editions aren't fully released, but the 5 that are will run you around $200. I will say that one thing about Kodansha box sets, as seen with those for Fairy Tail and others I've reviewed in the past on the channel, like Attack on Titan, is that at retail, they don't save you any money in comparison to the singles, so this is something to keep in mind. But I will say that finding 63 individual volumes for low prices is much more time extensive than finding 6 box sets on sale, so being able to pick them all up in one go on a deal gives them value. I tracked these for a while and the box sets get as low as $60 from time to time, so definitely keep an eye out for sales. Cheapest way to collect them at retail though is going to be the 3-in-1 omnibuses, with the manga box sets and singles following. As far as design goes, all of the editions of Fairy Tail are paperback. The singles feature the original Japanese cover art with the Fairy Tail logo at the top of each volume. The spines have this maroonish red color with the logo, volume number, and unique character artwork. Each volume showcases a different character on the spine, which I absolutely love. Fairy Tail has such an amazing cast, and it's great to see them celebrated in this way. The box sets, which collect the singles, have artwork on the back along with the Fairy Tail logo and the guild mark on various sides. These sets are open in the front, letting you see all of the spines when displayed. Personally, I would have loved if they had a door like some of the other box sets, but I can see how the open front design might appeal to some others. For me, one of the best things about box sets is how they store the volumes securely and save shelf space. However, after reading, not all of the volumes fit back into the box sets. You'll often end up with one stray volume sitting to the side. Trying to squeeze the volumes back in can risk damaging them, so if you're planning to store them in the box set, just keep that in mind. The omnibuses have cover artwork and spines with blown-up character portraits, and they look amazing. The singles also feature the characters on the spines, which I appreciate, but the larger artwork on the omnibuses looks great too. Although I do wish they would have blown up the artwork even larger like they did on their Fire Force omnibuses. They also use a similar color palette to the singles. Ultimately, design comes down to personal preference. Each edition is unique, but their quality, which I'm going to talk about next, also sets them apart. As far as quality goes, the singles feel better quality in hand in comparison to the others. The covers are thicker than the 3-in-1 omnibuses, and they don't have the same issues with creasing and dents as the oversized master editions, which are also paperback. I have about the same gripes with the master editions as I had with the Tokyo Ghoul Monster editions and the AOT Colossal editions, which I have reviews of as well if you'd like to check those out. They have amazing print and page quality, which makes the artwork look amazing in each, but they're heavy, prone to damage, especially around the corners, are somewhat similar to a textbook, and once read, you get creasing on the spine no matter how careful you are while reading. These would have really benefited from being hardcover, and I hope we get a hardcover edition for these someday. That said, I do think the singles are the best feeling in hand, but how do they stack up in the print and page quality department? Given that the master editions are printed on white paper with a glossy finish, like the Attack on Titan Colossal editions, they do have the best print quality all around. The blacks are saturated, the details stand out more, and everything just looks crispy and clean in the master editions, especially when compared to the other editions, which are printed on off-white paper with an eggshell-like texture. The artwork looks really good in these editions, but the master editions have really thin pages and have the worst bleed through of the three. You can see the panels from the other pages really visibly, so much so you can read the text that's behind them. In comparison, the omnibuses have less bleed through than the master editions, while the singles have the least. As far as the singles and 3-in-1 omnibuses go, head to head, the singles have better page quality. But this makes sense given that the 3-in-1s are the most cost-effective way to collect the series at retail. The paper in the singles is thicker than the paper in the 3-in-1s, and the print quality is a bit better too, with the artwork in the 3-in-1s looking more washed out than it does in the singles, so the singles edge out the 3-in-1 editions in this department. Although at times, the printing in the singles can be too dark from time to time, so it's a toss-up here depending on the panel. All that considered, the master editions have the best print quality, followed by the singles and the 3-in-1s, but the singles have the best page quality and least bleed through of the bunch. Readability-wise, both the singles and the 3-in-1s are comfortable and easy to read. Both are portable and lightweight, so if you're looking to read on the go or in bed or something, they are good options. The master editions, on the other hand, are heavy and cumbersome to read. They are ones that are best run on a flat surface. As far as gutter loss goes, all editions had a little but not too much. The 3-in-1 omnibuses had the least of the three. Given that they all have glued spines, they all have a little bit of gutter loss though, but nothing that I would deem to be a real deal breaker. Let's talk about translation, lettering, and sound effects next. When it comes to translation, the singles and master editions are identical. However, there's one change in the 3-in-1 omnibuses. They removed the Japanese honorifics. For example, in the singles and master editions, you'll see Salamander-sama, but in the omnibuses, it's changed to Lord Salamander. Kodansha originally stated, many English translations leave out these important honorifics and therefore distort the feel of the original Japanese. Because Japanese honorifics contain nuances that English honorifics lack, it is our policy not to translate them. Well, there has since been a policy change because they removed the honorifics entirely in the omnibuses. As for the sound effects, the omnibuses and master editions differ slightly from the singles. They added bold new lettering beneath the original Japanese sound effects, which stands out more in the panels. I personally love this change. The dialogue lettering, though, remains the same across all editions. When it comes to extras, they all feature the same content, but you do get a sticker sheet in each of the manga box sets. As far as extras go, not the most exciting in my opinion, especially in comparison to other box sets that have art books, mini booklets, double-sided posters, etc., but something extra nonetheless. All editions have the interviews, commentaries, and happy side stories in them as well. Alright, now that we've gone over everything, what's the best way to collect Fairy Tail? So I know I talked about the 3-in-1s having worse page and print quality than the singles, but I think they still look nice on display and they are still a good cost-effective way to collect the series. There will be 21 in total, and I expect they will save you space on the shelf, in addition to being around $200 cheaper than the other editions when bought at retail. If you are looking for the best print quality though, the master editions have the best, but they don't fully collect the series, so it kind of makes them a moot point unless you're a massive fan of the series and want to own them. They also have a lot of bleed-through issues, and despite having the best print quality, have the worst page quality of the editions as well. The singles, however, are the second best in terms of print and page quality, and they fully collect the series, plus they look and feel higher quality than the 3-in-1s, so it's the edition I'd recommend most. When bought through the manga box sets, you were able to pick up multiple volumes in one go, and when found on sale, you often save money in comparison to the singles over time. They're just a more convenient way to buy the series overall since it has 63 volumes. I will say though that as far as box sets go, Kodansha definitely has some room to grow. They have collector's box sets down. Akira is one of my all-time favorites, but their standard box sets have some room for improvement. I buy manga box sets for multiple reasons. 1, they save me money. This is not the case for Kodansha at retail at least. 2, I can store the volumes and save space on the shelf. Kind of in this case, because once read, the volumes don't always fit back in the boxes. While I do have some constructive criticisms here, I still think they are the best way to pick up Fairy Tail for convenience alone. And as mentioned earlier, you can easily find them on sale, which is much less time extensive than shopping for deals on all 63 volumes individually. When you find them for around $60 to $70 or less, they are well worth it in my opinion. I will say though that I'm torn on the omnibuses. The thing holding me up is the overall quality, but they do have more appealing and readable lettering under the sound effects, and they do look good in terms of design. And they are the most cost-effective way to collect the series at retail by almost $200, so they are a good value too. So depending on what you are looking for, these may be the best option. What do you guys think about these additions? Let me know in the comments, and if there's a comparison video you'd like to see next, feel free to drop that in the comments too. I also wanted to quickly mention a new series I've started where I dive into all of the works of some of my favorite creators. If you're interested, I have videos on Junji Ito and Inio Asano up on the channel right now, and more are on the way. Anywho, that's it for this video. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you all next time.